Hello. I'm just gonna start recording. I don't know how this is gonna go. Anyway, in my last video, I was responding in a way to things Randall Carlson was talking about, Cosmographia, Snake Brothers. Sorry, guys, and Brian. Oh, I'm terrible. Just goes to show. Anyway, wink. The winky face here. This thing and this thing. Also, then adding to the discussion, if you will, by talking about it here, and that there's this circle here, which I have since like traced out some things that I find of interest here, as well as like this width here that like kind of flows here is kind of reminiscent of this I pointed out. Like, I've not seen features like that labeled or focused on, maybe, in analysis of things, but they look of interest. So I hit record because I was like, I don't think I've recorded this. This is kind of interesting. This nostril, this I've talked about, this mouth, nostril, and then like this horn type structure. I've called it all sorts of things, most recently Loki. But I noticed like the mouth kind of thing here, and then the nostril. I was looking over here, and I was like, is there some like also going on here where there's a mouth, maybe a nostril? And I noticed maybe there's like a horn. It doesn't really have the same everything, but it does have some sort of horn potentially, like especially if we like consider it going up this way and over into here. I don't know, just something I thought was at least notable. I don't see enough features, like especially here it's so undefined that it almost disconnects anything that, like, there's no face. It's just a nostril and a horn. Like, if it's in any way like an energetic imprint is kind of what I'm thinking. Like repetition of things like we have especially in California and Sulawesi et al. Mirroring, having this section, having this bay and this island, so it's kind of inverse in this case, but dot dot region container when they formed next to each other they had a mirroring that was here, maybe even in line with that. So not to suggest like, oh, there we go, but yeah. So I was thinking the mouth here, nostril there, horn up here, that maybe relates to an energetic flow. That, I don't know if there's such a thing going on there that maybe ties into like here. I just felt like I'd bring it up. I'm not saying that that's actually present Here it's not nearly as just like this one is pretty distinguished. It's got like defined boundaries, defined boundary. Not so much here. So anyway, let's get back to other things. So I talked about this region, and then I drew a boundary. So if we look before I move, there's sort of like here we can say is like a boundary, and then down here, and then across here, like we can see a sort of structure there, and then up this way, and then over here, maybe I drew it up this way, but also over here. So it's kind of like an actual polygonal boundary, not so much a circular boundary as the center. It's sort of like a flower, interestingly. I was thinking about it. Is it like a flower? Is it like a Sudarshan chakra? I don't know how loud that is. Which I know of because of the Girnar, your clips.
This ring of mountains and the central ridges, it looks very much like Sudarshan chakra of Vishnu. I think for thousands of years this was regarded as like the center of heaven on earth. If God exists above, maybe he exists at the central point, at the non-moving point, the still point in the center of heaven. At night time, the stars are moving, but one point is still. This point is, maybe you could consider this a macrocosm. The microcosm, analogy, correspondence on earth, I think, is Girnar. This is the central point of heaven.
I muted myself because someone's sawing. Oh yeah, the audio. Whatever. So, that's right. I muted myself to play that audio. Okay. So Sudarshan chakra, I was saying, and then it has the petals. Gurnar has the petals. It's not like it's defined in a flowery kind of way. So when I saw this location here, I kind of was reminiscent in that it had this. Okay, let's go back here though. Like we can, I guess let's go here. Definitely we can see off of this like a curvature this way. It kind of goes flat here, back to here. That's almost like a boundary there. That's this larger boundary. And then another one that seems to go maybe, I was thinking even some of them overlaying here. It's hard. But essentially go out at least like this. Maybe even be like like the, whatever it's called. Parts of a flower. I wanted to say stigma, but I felt like I'd sound dumb. Or these things. Anther. Anther, that's kind of what I'm thinking of. The filament anther versus the flower. Like kind of coming out the side here. Almost like a flower literally spawning another one next to it if it like continued to do so, but it didn't. That I can immediately see. Unless it did it like further away. That would be crazy if it did that. Like, is this doing that? Where it's kind of got the inverse. Or it had like a flower maybe off of this somehow. With a segment coming out the side of it. In like a positive negative way where maybe they're not they're mirroring one another above and below or something. And this fed into this one. Like seeded this one from this one. Where the seed like went until it ran into resistance and then it planted itself. So maybe this seed went until it ran into resistance. Like at Greenland and participated in just the opening of that. That would be so cool if there's some aspect like that of I mean, it kind of immediately makes sense, honestly. I never thought about like the flowers like that. Having an actual offshoot. Okay, let's look at this a little more though. Like this one here wraps around more distinctly. We can more clearly see this boundary here. Maybe even another back there. It does have a flower shape. Even here, where like it's kind of looking like it goes further over this one. Like it got dissected. Oh yeah, that's not going down here. So it did get dissected. This generally points up to like up to this. That's interesting. And then this one points, I mean, I want to say Hudson Bay. It definitely points towards Clearwater lakes. Like if I put a measure from here and just try to keep it in, okay, that's in line. Okay, actually it points to Hudson Bay then. Center, pretty good. It bends off, it goes this way. So if we start new, go this way, does that go to this? No. It's hard to see. I guess I can drop a line. I'd be cheating to bend it here. Okay, it puts it in line there with that one. So it's kind of goes, it generally off here goes parallel with this one up to like this boundary. With this going that way. Like, I don't think it's accidental. Okay, and then let me go through the rest of the pictures real quick. Here's this inflow. That's an arrow. That I maybe shouldn't have drawn that big. I just was going to the boundaries to really show like there's a flow in here, and then it's like continues over top the surface here, and then it comes down to here, which I talked about in the last one. Which then this is the line from Hudson Bay over to the base of this thing, notably, to here. So there's like a geometric arrangement of things going on here where these are going up towards this thing. These are in line with the Hudson Bay. That's in line with the Hudson Bay as well. This current here initially suggesting some kind of relationship between them, I would say. Also, I've been looking around, so let's keep going. There's that thing where I put in the features, added some details. Nidhogg. Okay, what do we got here? I guess that's it. Meanwhile, on the west coast is maybe the animation. This is going on over here, where this current's coming through. I need to eat. I'm just like ridiculous. Like, yeah, this is what I should do right now. Took some Babinsana. Heart healer. Heart opener. Lucid dreaming aid. Isn't that interesting? Heart opener. Flower. This flower connection. And then the petal. Or petal. The anther. Anther. And filament. Which are also known as the stigma. Maybe the stigma, actually. I'd have to see an actual stigma. Why is there not, like, a flower? Oh my god, there we go. I guess it could be, it's probably more so the stigma. Ovary. pistol. Or the pistol? Oh. Comprising. I see. So the pistol is the whole of it. So this is probably more like the pistol. Thoughts. So I found something yesterday while watching Snake Brothers and Uncharted X. Thanks, guys. Seemed like a lot of things going on where it's like, yeah, dude, you didn't do this. We're well aware of what's up. Okay, so I was thinking, I just showed it. I showed it so fast, I didn't even elaborate yet. Birdman, so we got Birdman. I guess it doesn't matter. We got Birdman, we got the bags. So let's go to Birdman. We got Birdman here. We got the bag of Australia, which I don't, maybe I should save a picture because it's actually the bag goes out here and goes down here, up this way. And then has the handle that's up this way, basically, with the bag being Australia. So we got a bag. We've got Birdman bag. I know there's several bags. I was thinking about how there could be multiple bags. Maybe the mid-Pacific, Western Pacific, like this region is maybe in a way another bag. And then maybe there's another bag over here that's kind of related in a way that is reflected in this somehow. It's also got what made me think of the squirrel running back and forth between Nidhogg and the birds whispering in their ears. And the bird, one of the two birds. Just made me think of that. But then I thought, well, here's a Birdman. Maybe the sphere is in some way Hawaii reflective of, as like a exemplary, like, and if this is universal, then maybe it's exemplified in this, where like the Birdman, Hawaii. I thought initially this was a crab. It also could just be a head, a neck, a body, two legs. I kind of saw it as a crab and looked for it as a crab, also thinking of this as a fish. And I just was like, well, what's in line with these things, literally? Like, if this is this Birdman, maybe this is the ball, not Hawaii, but with bags. Just kind of thinking maybe if the Birdman, then maybe crab thing would be over here. And I'm like, yep, there's a crab. Like, it's got the claw, a big claw and a little claw. So it's like, so I chose one with a big claw and a little claw. Body doesn't have legs so much, but it could be legs that are kind of below the body. I was thinking is like the support structures. I really gotta eat like immediately. And then an eyeball with the thing. Eyeball or eyeball. I drew it as this one. But it could also be this one, I was thinking. And, of course this would all be nonsense, but regardless. Oh my god. It's impossible to just be me. It's sad. without like getting shit on. Literally, like people I trust. Teeth. I'm just thinking maybe a fish with some fin type thing. Not so defined back here, although maybe it's like whipping around. I don't know. But the energy's really propagating this way. So I'm not sure. I guess as the energy propagates, maybe it has a tail motion that makes it move, pushing like the front moving wave and ahead as like an arc, and then leaving a trail here. I don't really see the vibrations, let's say, but maybe that's how it opened that wide. So, I mean, I'm not saying this is a crab because I realized after the fact that it kind of looks more like a bird. And if it is a crab, it's a very odd arm here and a very odd back shape. But then there's this there, so I just thought it was of interest. It's just something I came across yesterday. I thought I'd talk about real quick. Okay, back to here. So these are formed something like, I think 470 for the east, 280 for the west, or vice versa. I think the east formed first. But I was looking around them, and I noticed, like, if you go up here, like, mostly we have a flow going this way. But then that flow kind of bends. And goes this way. And then interestingly, it has this region that goes up and down in like a hexagon, really almost indicating the presence of another system here. And I'm looking around. It's like, what I'm thinking is like here, notice there's this system, but then there's these little loops going down, almost like down steps. Like the energy wants to go this way, but it's also got a current going this way. And this current pushing from the west to the east is higher pressure here than it is here. And then the current that's not able to break through breaks through, but then essentially its pressure is less. And so the other current pushes again, and it just staggers the like interactions of how the like most etched paths are formed in this region. And then once it reaches this like blockage, this big system that eddies here, then these things just kind of like become more like this, like flowing down within its like wake, within its, or I'm not sure if wake is the right term, within its like shadow, like beyond a certain point. Notably, the currents are like straight across again. And maybe even through the center of it, there's like straight across. Not so much influenced by that like up down thing. Even notably having like something going that way. Like maybe it goes across at like a balance point here. Where it like stops these things from happening as easily, and then becomes more across again. Even going back up. There's so many currents in this. It looks like there's some kind of ring around it. It just shows how rapid 180 million or 190 million years really was. That this was forming relatively simultaneous. Where they still, like, this one still interacted with the formation of this one. It's just their dating shows that they didn't actually form simultaneous. They just like remained in, like, this one probably stayed going while this one formed, but this one formed first. Something of that nature. Or, no, I don't know. Then we got this one, though, that's strongly suggestive of a boundary. I kind of feel like maybe there, like an eyeball. This up and down point. Definitely something with things of that nature. Something there. That's interesting. That's real interesting, actually. Goes across, goes down, it bends. It bends like it's hitting a current. Notably, over here is this inlet. So there's a current coming in this way. That's definitely like breaking through the boundaries and holding resistance to, like, it even looks like it's flowing in this channel, flowing in this channel, which then runs into here. So there's an inlet, possibly flowing even off of this wall that then like kind of wraps around and gains like a trajectory. As current like flows atop all of this, it's just like there's many currents interacting. And then it looks like there's so much pressure here that it's pushing in this boundary, flowing through, but it's going through these channels. And over here, it's even just going out the side. Possibly over here going up a little bit. I'm really not sure where this like strong current that is visible here is coming from. Possibly it's wrapping around. Wait, this looks like there's a current coming in like this. Just based on these. Coming in, running into resistance, and causing like layering. Until it can actually bend. What are, I gotta look at the. I drew this one. Oh my god, which way? Where did I draw it? Somewhere I have Hudson Bay involved in that. Crap. Probably gone forever. I'll come across it, but I have no clue if I saved it. Pretty sure I did that. Well, that's right, that's right. We have Greenland at the end, so it goes this way, generally. So maybe in, like, at a boundary there. There. Okay, these fit. And maybe this is holding a boundary as an outlet. Like it's flowing in, but then as it flows in, it's causing an outflow current that may somehow is going here this way and holding a boundary here. Just some thoughts. Let's see what happens as we progress. So there's somehow an outlet current coming out of this inflow that's generally wrapping around like this. Wrapping around and into here, but then it shoots out an outlet current that goes this way, across here, interacts here with this current that's wrapping in here. Okay. Seems like there should be something more like this, like here, where this outlet and this current are interacting. Unless it just like created a spacer. So this current, like when it reached here, it kind of preferentially went this way. And this current went around this way. And then it also did this over here. Created this little triangle where it then vented in through this corner and this corner and inletted through this corner as well as pretty much the whole body of the triangle. This face. That seems to make sense to me. And then here it's like trying to get out over here, so it's creating all these like regularly spaced where the pressure can manage to do it. Channels, maybe not completely regularly spaced, but based on the pressure. That then reach a point where they can go out that way as well. Out this way, and then carve out this way. So flood, these waters go this way. Fill this little region. Spray out this way, spray out this way. There must be water that's just flowing this way, down over here, across this way, and then like actually across here and pushing this current a little further, like so it doesn't just like go straight through. It goes kind of this way. Bends like it's hitting resistance that's pushing it. Or just hitting a force, I guess. A side force that bends it. Finger Lakes. These are cool. I don't know what to make of them. Maybe I will in a moment as we keep going. They certainly look kind of related to that thing. This bend, the way this bends, maybe even looks related. I don't know what exactly I'm thinking here, but oh yeah, they actually follow the paths. These kind of bend and then go up there. Looks like there's some kind of channel thing going on here. That even looks like it goes back this way, like staggering like this way. I think I have it going generally out here so that then it like wraps around here and goes down through here, but it also seemingly goes off this way maybe. Current coming in this way, going around it. I don't think I have it going that way. Reminds me of this things that I was seeing yesterday. So like going back to that image, um, the crab. I didn't do more, but I was like, there's a scorpion here. I wonder if there's any scorpions around, and then I just kept watching their video, and saw the Birdman head here with another bird type head here that almost looks like it's it's not, it doesn't really have the beak, but it just looks more turned, dissected here like a two halves of a single Birdman splitting into with two heads then, and then having another head over here. Another head maybe over here. I don't know about that one, but I guess maybe going like the other way. Something going on there where it's like dissecting here and maybe here, like probably closely related to the closing of the Tethys Ocean. But while I was doing this, I was also like, wait a minute, like, does this looks kind of like a scorpion tail? And so I just started looking around, like maybe there's a scorpion in this. I don't know here, but then I started looking around. Still, I'm like, this looks kind of like a scorpion tail, like here, and then like a claw body that's kind of got legs. It's just, dude. And then another claw. It's another one, kinda. Another one here, really. Like claw, tail. Like crazy. Then I found Fido. Maybe I should point out. The nose and eye. I tried to draw it. It did not look good. Ears. Generally a body sitting with like front paws up, standing on front paws or whatever. Sitting, just sitting. Okay. Not sure where the legs might be, but maybe a tail. I was also thinking a wagging tail in relationship to here, and just what happened in Fiji region with the magnetic anomaly map centered here more so. Although I don't think it like connected quite. I guess it connects through here to it. Like if that's the tail wagging and like, I don't know. Wagging. I saw a video of a dog's wagging tail creating a snow angel in the leaves kind of thing. Just like maybe even to this morning. I don't know. Very recently. So there's a dog, and then another dog I noticed here with eyeball, mouth open, like a nostril region here, nose, ear. He's kind of barking. He looks like maybe a Rottweiler barking. Nothing particularly of interest. Just kind of noting it. I don't know of any like prophecy, myth, legend, anything of that nature that ties to the dogs in the same way as this, like there's a scorpion here. There's the Birdman. There's other things like this that I haven't really accounted for. I'm not sure what to make of all of it. And then like this. So if this is the Birdman, these are some bags. Maybe this region between bird and claw is relating to like this region somehow. Particularly the region from the Deccan Traps Doom-shaped trail to over here and these ripples. Doom-shaped trail where I'm pretty sure it just, I don't know if I've explicitly said this, where when it moves it then puts the basalt here and over here, but also like it's sending material this way that then ends up like accumulating in a trail as the earth expands over here. And then also something's going on here. Is that maybe coming out this way and going around? Or this way? Or just through here? Some interaction of them all. Yeah, so I was thinking a scorpion maybe here with the tail going through here. Where there's basically a spiral that focuses on the scorpion, and then the scorpion then has a, like, within, as the opposite, the tail coming out over here. Not the best looking scorpion overall, but that's just a thought I was having with relationship to the scorpions over here. Like this is also near this like spiral. this location that bends out. Like a current comes across here, bends out, goes this way. Opening this little thing. Then off of it has this offshoot. Which probably came out this way. Like from a hinge point, just so the energy whipped more so this way. Kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe I have the directions of these currents not quite right. Maybe it goes across this way. Goes over here, up, over, and all of this is going this way, maybe. Go up into here, and then filling over here. Up over here, down this way, over this way, and then starts to go in here. It doesn't really make sense for the Mariana Trench. Like, where is this current coming from? Maybe this current is not. It's going this way. Bending. Oh my god. Maybe. And then this goes in here. This way, up around. Through here, across, and then pushes out this boundary. Pushes out this boundary. Pushes out this boundary. Cuts into under here. Comes across the mantle puncture hole. With this cross current going to here. Still, because it was sourced differently than I realized. How is it coming there, though? This way. Running into this current, going this way. Here, holding a hard boundary here, so it can't really go further than that. So if it comes this way, I guess it could generally swirl in here still, creating like a polygonal boundary here. But then leading it down across. There's also petals here of a flower for sure. Maybe Greenland then is behaving to as the pistil. In a like manner to this thing and this thing, maybe, and thus maybe also this thing. Makes me think of Maracaibo. Lightning capital of the world. Florida also considered lightning capital of the world. Like maybe they were literally adjacent. How close were they? hard to put that region together because of what happened here. Like, it definitely folded and bended and things, but it's hard to say how exactly it happened, like how they were connected. If this was like up in here, fully conjoined, if this was conjoined to here, it looks like things were connected that are no longer connected, and things have shapes that they didn't have, or they folded so much here that it's confusing and hard to put back together completely. But like, current comes this way, here, but maybe that's here, like here to here, at one time, where this chunk is maybe like from here. Lightning capital of the world. It's definitely got this and this. Like a positive negative going across this way. That's kind of focused as like chakras at Maracaibo. I don't know why that would matter like that. Also, maybe this thing having like a cross exchange. Maybe there's just a cross current that especially can pass through here and creates like a static electricity effect. Being almost like a connection point between the bonds, even though it's a little staggered. Maybe it's energetically where the current coming in through Central America from North America then like makes its way underneath Lake Maracaibo, like maybe somewhat over here, but looks like it largely goes across this way. Hits a relative like density region, especially here where it's like can't really go much further. Can't really go past this. Like it probably filled whatever current is flowing is probably just kind of filled this region. And so anything that's flowing doesn't go into it. It just holds it in place so it doesn't flow out also. And so current passes through there. I don't know if like I'd imagine there'd be also earthquakes there much more prevalently if that were the case. Just that, although maybe it is more of a different type of current that passes through. Maybe let's do this. Let's just do this. There's me trying to draw a dog. I realized it was a little trickier. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Take just this region, copy, paste. Let's take this one, really cut it off right there. That can go. Okay. Now try to just kind of put it something like that. Maybe -10 something. Minus like something of that nature. I totally put Florida where Maracaibo is, like the tip of Florida. Maracaibo is like right there. View full screen. I guess that's fine. Let's go zoom in some. Okay, opacity. There's Maracaibo. There's Florida. Like a continuation there. So this chunk, if we notice here, this boundary, this one looks not related to South America. This one looks related. Like this whole chunk was generally below South America before the two moved apart. That stayed connected to North America. This chunk stayed connected to North America through Florida, like physically conjoined through this, and it slid away. While North America stayed conjoined to South America through Central America, with the formation of the bond here at the Panama. At the Panama, I'm just like, is that only Panama? Pardon me, other people. Costa Rica. Okay, Costa Rica, Panama. Nicaragua, but that was more so part of there. This is like the bond that formed that I believe was generally up this way and then was folded down this way. So it was like a sliver that was between the two continents, that stayed between the two continents, but was like this and then came folded out. Like something of that nature. But it was folded. I can't do it with my fingers. Folded twice. Folded this down this way, and then folded back this way here. And then it was just like patched with the current flows that were flowing through this way, so that it became a cohesive unit while current then can continue to flow through this region underneath over into South America. But then it flows, when it reaches here, it flows largely across this way to Lake Maracaibo, which is like the energetic connection to Florida previously. I don't know why I would do that exactly, but it definitely makes me think of bonds and like things of that nature in a chemistry sense. It's even, is it pointing at it pretty much? Like this slit, if I could follow this slit, I don't think it points at it anymore, but it might have. Oh shit, it probably did. Oh shit, it totally did, didn't it? I wonder, are there Appalachians in Lake Maracaibo? Grains of the Appalachians and in Lake Maracaibo. How did they get there? Maracaibo Appalachians. Maybe that first one. But I'm just. Three main phases occurred in the Jurassic Eocene geological history of Lake Maracaibo. Jurassic rifting related to separation of the North and South American continents. Early late Cretaceous. Okay, let me just go. Jurassic is 201 to 145. Eocene is 56 to 33.9. Okay, so we're going 201 to 34 million years. In the 201 to 145, rifting related to separation of North and South American continents. Early late Cretaceous passive margin subsidence. Okay, so it rifted by Jurassic. Early late, like it moved away from North America to a degree. It definitely, this was open by 65 million years. But it sounds like at 145 it was still connected, like bonded Florida to Lake Maracaibo. Until the rifting. Okay. Early late Cretaceous passive margin subsidence following rifting and creation of oceanic crust between North and South America. It's pretty much what I was just saying. This current flowing across that went through when this all was like blowing up. Went through, it filled in the crust, and also solidified this. Made it like a single unit so that the current could flow. Paleocene, Eocene, foreland basin subsidence following the oblique collision of a Pacific-derived Caribbean plate with the South American passive margin. Oblique collision. So at some point, this like undercurrent that was going out this way and up here built up enough Paleocene foreland subsidence, basin subsidence following the oblique collision. Like, what does that have to do with a chemistry bond? Like, what could we learn from that? I have no idea, but that's like to think of it as some kind of formation of a new bond where there's like a collision that creates like this point that's electrically charged. Okay, let's see what it has to say about appellation. Subscription required, $14. His current focus of research is geometry and evolution of structures of fractures. Structures, that sounds interesting. Geometry and structures of fractures. It seems to not be about. Maybe, if I had to say Maracaibo, zircon, grains. It may even Grenville. Northern South American river system. Now we're getting somewhere. Detrital zircon's ages range between these. Let me read this more. Northern range of Trinidad, located in a key area for evaluating the Mesozoic Cenozoic evolution of the Caribbean and South American plates. Trinidad. Guessing from here, I guess. Okay. Here we present detrital zircon uranium-lead geochronology for 2391 grains from 10 samples collected in Trinidad. It says it's Trinidad. The zircon ages range between those. Parent contribution from a variety of crustal affinities. However, since the youngest ages are those, it is unlikely that sediments were sourced from the Caribbean plate, which is 88 million. Samples from the western northern range exhibit significant peak clustering around 1 billion, which is like Appalachians, pretty much. I mean, it's Grenville, but it's like that location, suggesting a prominent Grenville basement sediment source. In contrast, samples from the eastern northern range have bimodal peaks, which overlap with central Amazonian crustal ages. Really makes me think of some boundary. Honestly, that seems like because, based on this, like if this is true, that it was like more like this, where Florida was approaching here, Maracaibo is right there, basically in line with that slit. I mean, it seems almost assured there's a relationship between Lake Maracaibo and the currents flowing through Florida along that slit. Like, as a indicator of where the paths were going. Like they're generally flowing from over here, down this way, across through all these, but then across through here, across here, where then I've noticed in the past there's a swirl here, like half of a yin and yang. Similarly, there's like a half of a, maybe. It looks more like a figure eight that has like an opening to one side of it, like a shallogram. It looks more like a shallogram. Honestly, it does. Even with a chakra, inverse chakra here. I don't know why it would be inverse. If it's behaving like a shallogram. Like, am I muted? Holy shit, hour 20. I should probably stop soon. Let's just see how many times they mention Grenville. Grenville. Significant age peaks. These ages correspond with Grenville. So there certainly are Appalachian sediments in South America. The high frequency of Grenville age zircons is significant to understanding the evolution drainage systems in northern South America. Currently, the Orinoco River is the primary drainage system in northern South America. It drains a significant portion of the northern Andes. Yeah. Okay. It's almost like a boundary point then, maybe. Grenville uranium lead ages and samples to constrain the timing of changes in the Orinoco River drainage patterns. Studies postulated that the Orinoco River flowed to the north, draining into the Maracaibo Basin until the late Miocene. The Caribbean Plate uplifted the eastern Cordillera in Colombia and diverged drainage systems eastward to the present day. Miocene. Oh my god, what the fuck? Eastern Cordillera in Colombia. Studies postulated a drainage for the Orinoco River at Maracaibo until the uplifting of the East Cordillera, Eastern. It's probably just like this segment that goes on both sides. It's like the boundary, like this current came in, interacted with current here. Thinking there's a current flowing this way, holding a boundary generally here. So any current flowing out this way maybe was encouraged down this way. Into the opening ocean. And then maybe across, down. Because it certainly didn't go this way. Although maybe this was separated enough that the waters here more so flowed into newly forming ocean bed. I'm just thinking, like, what might be going on over here relating to water processes above the surface. I should probably stop. Wonder if this lake, or this circular feature generally here, maybe centered on here, even up to here, has some energetic relationship to this that was broken but still connected. And maybe like this was one bond, this was another bond. Now it just has a single bond.